Check one, check two.
There were some big things this year. But anyway, I'd like to welcome my guest, and I want you guys to all go follow him because I like Ken a lot. He's a really good friend. And Ken's from the We Are One podcast, and he's having a hard time for people to find his podcast. And people are asking about him, like where to find him and stuff. So you just have to type in, how do they find you, Ken? And thanks for coming on, man. And Happy New Year.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and happy to talk to you whenever we get a minute, man. I know you're working hard.
Yeah, man. This should be a fun show. We can get into like the best and of everything that happened, all the crazy stuff that happened in 2024. You know, I mean, where should we kick it off? Did you want to start with the Billy Carson thing, or do you want to talk about the drug? And is there? I'm sure there's other stuff too. In the audio, I'm bringing up the chat on my phone. Do you want me? Yeah, because if you search for my podcast,
how can I see the chat? Do you know?
You can see the chat if you just look for my podcast, and then you like. You'll see that we're live right now. If you just want to pull it up, that way you'll be able to interact.
Zoom doesn't have it. Okay, all right.
I mean, I can send you a link too.
No, it's okay. I got it. I didn't know if it was.
Oh wait,
you can see it live, which is cool.
I can send you a link to your phone too. You know.
All right, send me a link to the phone. Oh, actually, I can see it, but I can't see the comments. Hold up. All right, I got it. I don't want to get no glaring thing back. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. Yep, good. I got it.
So what did you think about the Billy Carson thing? I haven't really went in depth into this yet, and I don't know. I guess we should tread lightly on it because, like, you know, who knows what he might get upset and he might sue me or something. I mean, I might take the video down, you know. But
I think he's all sued out, dude. I think he doesn't got nobody else to sue. No, I think I've seen the whole debacle. I don't like people calling it a debate because it really wasn't a debate. It was supposed to be a conversation, and it kind of went sideways and. The dude made Billy look kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think it was a setup by Christianity. You know, I think Christianity tried to set Billy up, and I feel bad for Billy, you know, in that way.
Well, don't feel bad for Billy. Billy said a lot of really, really ignorant things and made himself look bad after the fact. I think the first half, the first 3 questions or the first 4 questions, whatever it was, didn't go well for him. And to me, it was really odd that Billy even conceded anything. I just felt it was very odd. He conceded the fact that he was like, yeah, if you say so. I thought that was really odd. It was almost like he didn't research anything. He was just going off what people were telling him. And all of a sudden, you know, somebody corrected him and he stepped back. So it was odd to me that he stepped back.
And like Billy has a lot of knowledge, you know what I mean? Billy does know a lot, you know. He knows all about the Sumerian tablets, the Emerald tablets, like, you know, he should be able to quote that stuff, and he should have I thought he should have done a lot better in that debate than like what people are saying, you know, like I don't know what happened there. I know they said he was sick or something beforehand too, you know.
Well, the receipts are coming out on that too. He was sick a month before. He wasn't sick at the time. He actually flew to Atlanta, I think, to go do a Steve Harvey show. Like the next day or something, or within a day or two. So, Billy got some receipts. He needs to go ahead and fess up to what's going on. But yeah, it was a setup by the Christian community, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of that guy. I thought he handled himself well. My first reaction to Wes Huff was, oh, this guy's really smart. He did a really good job. And you know, stepping back, I don't think that anymore. I think it was a setup. That guy he has running around with him, Anton, I don't think either of those 2 guys are who they say they are.
Yeah. One comment from the audience is Simo says Wes Huff sounded like a used car salesman, though. Lots of word salad. You know? I mean.
Yeah, there's something going on there. If you guys have anything to say about it, I've seen some things. I don't know where Wes is from. I know he is. I shouldn't say I know. I've seen he's a PhD student, doctorate student. He's not published yet, I don't believe. I think somebody just said that in one of the videos lately. But I've been watching Myth Vision. I think his name is Myth Vision. He's another Christian channel, and he called out Wes for lying. I published it on everything that I had on my channel, and you know, just basically he was misrepresenting the Gospel of Mark and everything else about the open passages at the end of all the Gospels. He basically said that was the only one. And it's not the only one, so he lied about that. He's got some things to hide. I think it's going to be interesting to see what comes out in the long run.
Do you think this Christian community has a lot to hide in general? Because, like, I sometimes wonder if this Christian community knows who they're what they're worshiping. Like, you know, like
they have no idea, man. They have no clue.
it's a religion that's spread persecution,
It's a
and
cult.
it's
It's a
put on
cult, and I
people's
don't want to
cultures
see.
throughout the time.
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic, but
I don't.
what I believe is not what they've been teaching and what they've been taught. The church has hijacked everything. You know, I personally don't know what to believe about Christ and about Jesus. That wasn't his name, first of all, so we can start there. But there's a lot to be determined. There's a lot of. I started looking into the Gospel of Mark when this came up, and there's a lot of. I mean, there is an infinite amount of questions that I have for the Christian scholars that are the apologists. And let me start off with some knowledge real quick. Christian apologist, which is what Wes Huff is, the Christian apologist actually means having faith. That's all that it means. So I don't know where the word apology comes from or apologist comes from, but it just means to have faith. And this guy is trying to prove things that are not provable, in my opinion. They're just not. Um, and so I don't understand where the apologist part of faith comes in, but I'll leave it there with
Well,
those.
I'll have Christian guests on. I've had other Christian guests on and stuff like that. Like, it's not like I totally denounce the religion. I just feel like a lot of people have used Christianity to do a lot of bad things throughout time. You know what I
For
mean?
sure, for sure. And we're told that, but I mean, do we really know
That's
the
true
true
because
story, the
we
true
know our
history? We
history's a
don't
lie
know.
too, right?
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
know anything. All we know is what they've told us, what they've written down. Um, man, the internet is so crazy lately too. You can look up. I do a lot of deep dives. Well, I don't know how deep they are, but deep enough where you look at information. I looked up, this guy, the um, Hubble telescope, and the what's the new one? I'm having a brain fart right now. My bad, guys. Um,
The new telescope? Is it a new
James Webb.
telescope?
I'm sorry, the James Webb. So James
Oh
Webb.
yeah, yeah. Supposedly that's supposed to be
Yeah,
able to see exoplanets and stuff like that.
yeah. So James Webb was the second administrator of NASA, and that means basically means he was the head of NASA. He was the second head of NASA, and he came in basically at the tail end of Lyndon Johnson's reign. Well, sorry, he didn't come in there. He was there for 4 or 5 years, and James Webb basically left NASA in January, seated to the third person. I had the name top of my tongue, but anyway, he seeded that before we even landed on the moon, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The way I got into some of this lately of that stuff was looking at this 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So a lot we could talk about, a lot of questions that I have. Seems to be a lot of, well, for lack of a better word, a lot of fuckeries going on in in the world right now. And everywhere you look, there's just deception and lies. So
I
we can
agree.
start
One
there.
thing, when Warrior for Truth says, I like this. She says, "Where religion has been used as division of the people." She says, "Christ's word has been twisted and caused people to dislike him." Which I think, because I think Jesus or Yeshua was a real person. I do. I think he was like, and I think he was trying to change the world. Like I think he was trying to he was standing up to an oppressive. But again, this is what we're told.
Right.
But I mean, like it seems like other gospels have come out, like the Gnostic gospels and stuff that said he was a real, the not, the Book of well, no, the Book of Enoch talks about the angels, but I mean the
Knowledge.
Gnostic gospels and the Dead
Yep.
Sea Scrolls show like some evidence that he was a real person. It seems like.
Yeah, I don't think religion has any place in this world, to be honest, because it just everywhere you look, there's a different perspective, and you can't narrow down something that is um, so subjective, and then at the same time so objective into a book. I mean, we all
Yeah.
have different perspectives and different beliefs, different faiths. It just gets really raw when you talk about if you question something in a book, whether it's the Sinai Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the King James Bible. There's an unlimited amount of Bibles because people have different perspectives. So once you start putting these things into a religion, they start really dividing people and taking away from the true cause of what Christ, the individual, was trying to do.
Yeah, like one person was my friend Rock Castaldo. You might have saw him. He comes on my show. He has a lot of good knowledge, but he was saying he was disputing the Emerald Tablets. He was saying that the Emerald Tablets they found that the Emerald Tablet of Hermes that's in like the museum, right? But the Emerald Tablets of Thoth that are like written out, there's no actual copies of them.
No,
You know what I
well,
mean?
it's actually from a guy who said he was in the Great Pyramid, and that Thoth came to him, and he wrote a book based on the visions that he had. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, Doctor
And if I
Dory.
may, if I misspeak about something, I'm not doing it on purpose. I have no perspective other than that. I'm just looking for answers too.
I heard. I heard. Here's what I heard. I heard that he found the Emerald tablets underneath the Chichen Itza pyramid supposedly, and then he took them to his group, which was the Great White Brotherhood, and they transcribed them or something like that supposedly. So there's different versions of the
No
story.
one's ever seen them. Is That's
Yeah,
the
we can
bottom
agree
line.
on
No
that.
one's ever seen them.
Nobody really has. So what? Back to this telescope stuff. What's going on with that? Because that could tie into like the drone thing, which is like really, I've had so many different people on that have talked about what these drones are and UFOs. It's crazy, man. Like, what made me so upset about the whole thing, Ken, was I don't know if you heard me say this. I know you can't watch all my shows, but like, I had two sightings. I saw a drone. It went right over my apartment when I was outside smoking. And then a couple days later, I saw like some weird shape shifting, like plasma, like orb. It was like 300 feet above the BP station. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It was like, and it was right around, I live in Pittsburgh and all the shit was happening. I guess it was happening worldwide, right? But I mean, it was like a heavy activity was in like Jersey, New York, Pittsburgh, so like, I don't know what it was. I can't even pretend like I do. I have no clue. I don't know.
When was that, Rob? Because I don't remember. I don't watch no TV, so if it's on YouTube, maybe I'll see it. But I've been really busy lately, getting caught up in this crap. So how long ago was this orb situation? A month? More than a month ago?
I mean, the drones and the whole drones and UFO and the orbs,
Yes.
it's been
Yep.
like, I'd say it's been like 2, 3 weeks now when it was
Okay.
like heavy 2, 3 weeks ago.
So when I went to the week before I went to IMEC, I went to Nashville to go watch the Mandela Effect conference, and Chris Sinatra and Cynthia Sue Larson. So before I went there, I
Tell
have a
us
ring
about that,
camera.
by the way. I
Yeah, I
didn't
will.
interrupt you. You got to tell us how that was.
Yep. So in my garage, I have a ring camera, and when it senses something, and it'll pop on. It's never popped on before, aside from me or my car or something. Open the garage. I got an alert. I have to look what time it was, but I saved it on my phone. I can show it. I can actually email it to you, clip it to this. But I had like five orbs in my garage. One went like, I mean,
What?
huge orbs, like like I don't know how big they would have been, maybe a foot in diameter, maybe. But I got them on camera. It's one really big one in general, but long story short, I was showing everybody at the iMac this ring camera, and they were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool orbs." And then here we go, like a month later, and there's orbs flying around, UAPs and stuff around your area. So I have not paid attention to the orb situation. I have seen some things online. I don't know what's true, what's not true. I don't know what's been
With
fakery
AI,
going
it's
on
so
with
hard to
AI.
say, right?
Yeah,
Like
you don't know. You don't
there
know.
was one video where even a drone took out an orb. Like that is like, or no, I'm sorry, an orb took out a drone. So like they were like up in the air, like flying around each other, and the orb, like the drone goes towards the orb, and the orb just hits it, and you see the drone just like fall down. And I was like, and that made me think, were the drones military, and then the orbs are some kind of like, you know, sentient species that like,
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know anything, but the more that I see about technology, the more I believe that the orbs are probably some kind of electromagnetic flying, and not a flying vehicle, but like it could be controlled. So like it's an energy control basically. I think they're messing around with technology, whereas it is some kind of an energy vessel, I guess would be the best way to put it. I
yeah.
think that they can manipulate these things and they can make them, fly and go in the sky and potentially even put an algorithm to them. And so I think that that's how they're going to take down the drones, is that it's just it's some kind of electrical pulse.
But then, like like orbs throughout time. Of they said like orbs. A lot of people say like orbs in general. Some of them can be like consciousness. Like they can be like your past
Could be,
relatives or ghosts or whatever. You know what I mean? Like so, like maybe the orbs you had were some kind of like family member, like coming to see you or something like
could
that.
be. Yeah, absolutely could be. I mean, I've had electrical stuff going on in my life, throughout my entire existence. My mom could touch a computer. She's passed away now, but she could touch a computer and shut it off. She broke numerous computers, and she wasn't like spiritual or anything like that at all. But she had an electrical pulse around her, and I have my RH negative from her, so that could be up to something too. But long story short, when mom passed away, my dad and I were sitting in the funeral home, and it was a bright sunny day in Orlando, and all of a sudden, boom, power went out. The whole building went out while we're sitting there. And I turned to my dad and I was like, that's definitely mom, messing up their system because her body was there, even though she was cremated. I think no, sorry, her body was still there. Yeah, correct. We
Yeah.
cremated her after, but yeah, her body was there. So
So tell us about the Mandela Effect conference. How did it go?
it was good. It was probably about 50 people there, maybe a little more. I mean, I wasn't exactly counting, but it was a pretty small group of people. It was in Nashville. I think it was a few months ago, 2 months ago. It was good. They had some good speakers. Met a couple cool people there. Got to see Chris, talked to him a little bit. Saw Cynthia in person for the first time. So that was cool.
How's she?
Um,
How was she? Was she really nice and stuff?
yeah, I mean, everybody's really nice. They're, relatively introverted, I guess, a little bit. Nobody's super outgoing. But not a negative, just, the first speakers were really cool. I'd never heard them before. Um, I have to, Liz, I think Liz Larson. I think she's related to Cynthia, but Liz Larson and Bill, I forgot his last name. Sorry, Bill, if you're watching this. But basically, what was the coolest part about it was just listening to people tell stories about the things that have happened in their lives that they couldn't exactly explain. Um, you know, Nobody really had a situation or a perspective about what the Mandela effect was, just that it's definitely something that's influencing our reality. And it's not, has nothing to do with memory. It has to do with everything, perception, um, everything that goes to deal with what we perceive and sense.
What do you think about the whole time travel theory? That like somebody could be like messing with the timelines and like,
I mean, there's a million theories that go through my head a day. I don't really have a specific one right now about time travel. I would say it's probably possible. I think that our consciousness definitely survives death. We're definitely immortal, but I also don't believe that every single person on this earth has a soul or um, is a divine being. So, I mean, that's just throughout time. We've seen NPCs, we've seen clones, we've seen people react to things. Some people have no inner dialogue. I mean, some people have no backstory. I mean, it is a truly unique time to be alive and be questioning things.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, and Howdy Mikowski came out with a new book this year. That was I got to have him on my show. It was
How was
pretty.
that talk? I have not seen that. When I saw him talk to Chad, and it looked like he's. I mean, these the soul trap people are crazy, man. Like they are really hardcore soul traps, and they're not even exploring anything else once they get there. But Howdy seemed to be a little more mellow this time, a little less pessimistic. I believe he stopped calling it a soul trap and calls it a soul trick. So interested to see how the people react to that when he starts speaking about that. Do they even notice that he's kind of moved off of that a little bit, or do they think he's just the same and he's their hero? I don't know.
I was thinking. The whole thing I've been thinking is if it's a trap, like maybe we have the will to will ourselves out of it when we leave here. Like,
Well, then it wouldn't be a trap, right? I mean, I don't think you can get out of a trap. Maybe you
well,
can.
if you can, I mean, you like
Yes,
use your
terminology.
discernment. Like if they try to trick you at the end and you use your discernment and you beat the trap. Like someone needs to come out with a book called "Beat the Trap."
Yeah,
About how to beat the soul trap. That's because that's what where this is all coming to, right? If it's
could
a
be.
soul trap, we got to figure out how to beat it.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I think that the biggest question that you have to have in life is, if there is these two answers or these two tunnels, if it's only reincarnation and nothingness, I mean, do you really want to become nothing for the rest of your existence? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking the question. Most people are like, I'd rather never come back here, but I guess the question is, what if that's the only other option? I don't think that it is. I'm hoping that I can go to another reality that's better than this. That's not so difficult, I guess would be the best way to put it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm hoping that like when I saw Yemi from the Farsight Institute talk at that Full Disclosure Now conference this summer, they said that they remote viewed the death traps, or what they call the soul traps, and I find it interesting because they're more like an ET UFO group, remote viewing group, but they agree that there's a soul trap, just like Howdy Mikowski and Mark from Forever Conscious Research and all the Soul Trap people, But Yemi is one of their remote viewers, and she was speaking at the conference. She said there's astral pockets you can slip through. She said when you're going towards the light, she said you can slip through astral pockets and escape, and she said it'll take you to another reality. That's one thing I picked up from her speech. I was like, man, I wonder if you can really do that.
Well, I mean, I think anything's possible. But here's the real question. So this is going to really probably send some people into an emotion. Most people would associate the Soul Trap, right? Even the Soul Trap people with Bob Monroe and the Far Side Institute, right? That's how
Yeah,
you would, because they said they were getting loose.
yeah,
But Tom Campbell worked with Bob Monroe and that whole process throughout the entire thing. Am I correct?
yeah, he did.
So
I
why does
talked to Tom
why
Campbell.
does Tom Campbell not think it's a Soul Trap, and and we are jumping onto what his interpretation of, or Bob Monroe's interpretation is, because that seems to be a very big um, missing piece in all this, is that people just continually say, well, Bob Monroe and the Monroe Institute says it's a soul trap, but Tom Campbell was right next to him the entire time, and Tom doesn't think it's a soul trap. So what are we missing from that situation and that equation?
Yeah. Now, Emily Howard always has good stuff to say. She says the world is shitty because no one realizes that we're manifesting it all in a effed up way.
Huh. Could be.
And she says, once most of us are enlightened and learn how to manifest, it'll be better. But that's, I said, well, can you manifest your way out of here? Can you, I mean, but then there's been like stories, and Chad, I wish Chad was here for this. Like, there's been stories of like, gurus who supposedly meditated their whole life and, were able to escape to other reality, or not escape, but they were able to like kind of transcend this reality and go to other realities without psychedelics. But then there are like trip reports of people on psychedelics that like actually escape here too. They go to other realms. Okay, so what was interesting is that whole Cliff High stuff, and I've talked about this. I don't know if you saw this, but he was the guy who has the predictive software, and he said that like 39 days after Trump got on Rogan, that the sky was going to be full of drones and UFOs, and he said he predicted this back in 2009 or 2013. And what's crazier is nobody knows how he got this, but I do, because I saw an interview he did with Richard Dolan. How he got this predictive software is he said he was doing psychedelics, and he was like interacting with beings on the other side. And he said most people will go there to have an experience. He went there to take something back. So he was like getting information. And supposedly he came back with this predictive software that like, I don't even know how it works. It's crazy, but like, I thought that was interesting for sure. But like what he said did happen. Like Trump did get on Rogan, and then 39 days later, he said there would be like an ET war, but there wasn't an ET war. It was just like the sky was full of drones and UFOs. So I don't know. It's interesting to say the least.
Well, maybe the news is being written as somebody creates it. I mean, and I mean you got to look at that too. I mean, the media and the way things are pushed out to us doesn't necessarily mean they're even true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the
Yeah.
program. It's just what's there. I mean, you can see all of these Sinclair program channels that everybody's seen, the ones with the about the CO-19, but there's other ones out there too that are the same way, that I was watching this morning on Instagram. That's the same exact thing, but they're making these people tell jokes in the same exact crazy manner. These newscasters, like all over, like there's hundreds of them, and not just the same ones that we've seen. They're just writing the news. So I
Yeah.
know Howdy talks about that a lot too. Howdy talks about the news. It's called Newscasters or something. Some show from a while ago, and it says that they're creating the news, but that doesn't mean that they're creating the world. They're just creating the news. It's there's two different things going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You said there's another debate coming up. You said, well, let me go back to your notes that you said.
Oh yeah, we got another. This is an actual debate supposed to happen. It's Wesley Huff and somebody else, and then Aaron Apke and somebody else on January the 20th.
Wow. I wonder if we can look this up. I wonder,
Oh,
I
it's
don't
got to
know
be
much
looked
about
up.
Aaron
Yeah,
Apke.
yeah.
Let me look it up. We have time.
Yeah, it should be really a good conversation, but I don't expect I should stop not calling them names because it might bite me one of these days. But this we'll call him the Maple Leaf. The Maple Leaf's gonna come up with some stuff that just can't be refuted by anyone who believes the Bible is written by divinity.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you say that because he's Canadian or something?
He's Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
I don't trust him and his cohorts. I get a really, really ugly feeling when I watch like their videos, like what in the hell is going on? And I'm not a Billy Billy Carson apologist. I'm not going to sit there and do that. But the things that Billy talks about, a lot of them make a lot of sense. And I'm not talking about the Sumerian, the tablets of Thoth, and I'm not talking about aliens in the sky with gods. Although I don't know who the Sumerians were. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking in general, the the manifesting stuff and the God power that we have inside of us. Some of the New Age stuff, it's more than makes sense, and it comes from physics. It comes from energy and the conservation of energy and stuff like that. So it's not like it's just completely baloney, but it's getting washed away with Billy's misinterpretations and misknowledge.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because we can manifest. We can really bend this reality. Like, and you've done examples of that, right? Like,
I've seen things manifest in my physical reality, and it's interesting because you see some of these. I think Danny Jones had a guy on there on his show about a month ago. I talked about it a little bit, and the guy took a hit of DMT or 2 hits of DMT and was doing an experiment about lasers and has numbers inside. I think I sent it to you.
we covered it on. I was on the one-on-one podcast. He had me on his show, and then we were laughing about it because we were laughing because people are putting their eye up to a laser that could damage your eye severely.
No, I don't think it was up to the laser. I think they were looking at it on the wall.
Yeah, but no, but like the people in the video, the one that me and
Yeah.
Juan watched, they're
Okay.
like, like say like my screen's here, they're like putting their eye like up to the they're putting here's my phone, they're putting their eye up to the laser like this, and they're like, whoa, I'm like, dude,
They're trying to take away their glaucoma.
I mean, I would not risk losing my eyesight for just to see the Matrix. I can see the Matrix by taking a hit of DMT, or I can just see the Matrix just to know. I
Have
know
you done
that.
that before? Have you seen numbers?
Yeah, I have. When I did DMT,
Yeah.
I saw some weird. I saw some weird. I didn't go to another dimension. I didn't
Okay.
see entities, but I did see weird geometric shapes. I saw numbers, and when I was coming off the drug, everything looked holographic. Like this microphone, which I don't even have mounted. It's pretty cheap.
You can see energy, basically, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you can see like it's all. It shows you. It makes you think that it's an illusion. Makes you.
Well, it is an illusion. I mean, as far as we know, as far as we can prove, as far as physics has proved with double slit experiment and the placebo effect and the Nobel Prize for the observer effect. I mean, all those things make sense in New Age. It's just I think that a lot of things get hijacked. They put these people in front of us, and then they tear them down so that we won't look over there again. And I think Billy is a complete example of that. And I don't know what you feel. We've talked before. I don't believe in Stephen Greer at all. He's way too rich to be trustworthy, and Billy is not a believable person as far as his character is concerned, in my opinion. And I guess everybody's
You know what
should
Stephen Greer
judge
said?
that.
I told my audience this too. This is what Stephen Greer said. Like, so I've looked into the alien abduction phenomena, and I know we can't prove that something's happened, but it seems like millions of people around the world say that something happened to them, and they're not looking for credibility. And I'm not saying it's aliens. It could be anything, right? It could be.
It's unknown. It's unknown,
But,
right?
but here's what Stephen Greer said. You ready for this? Stephen Greer said the U.S. military was using midgets and dressing them up in alien costumes and having them abduct people.
What?
I was like, dude, when you say something like that, you lose all credibility in my. Like, how can we take this dude seriously with disclosure when he's saying something that insane? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's ever been proven. I mean, like, and plus they would have to do it worldwide. They would need like a literal army of little people going around the world in UFOs and abducting. It would be like a huge.
Why would you even? I mean, we know, we absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt, based on unclassified documents, declassified documents, that you can beam thoughts into people's head. You can make them go crazy. You can you can MK Ultra anyone you want well, I'm not sure. I shouldn't say anyone you want. I don't know. I don't know if certain people are immune to that, but you can for sure MK Ultra people, or you can hypnotize them. You can do a lot of things to make people think what they're seeing and what their memories are. You can implant memories. You don't need to
Yeah,
be. You don't need to be. Whatever he said, I'm not even gonna repeat. That's just nonsense.
yeah. It makes you. I mean, someone told me that they did an X Files. An X Files episode on that. So I was like, man, we can see where he's getting. Someone Spider Bite said he's a lizard man. It's so
Shapeshifters. You
funny.
gotta love the people who talk about shapeshifters all the time. And look at this example of a shapeshifter.
You think lizard people, or do you think
Come on.
reptilians are real? You think there's like lizard people living under the earth, and they?
I mean, well, I mean, technically we are. That's a whole. That's like two different questions right there. So I think that there's people under the earth for sure. There's different dimensions of our plane of existence. I think that's pretty well documented. I don't know if you can necessarily do it or prove it, but for sure there's military dumbs, right? And there's
Yeah, there's
layers
definitely
under
dumb.
the earth. There's layers. So if there's layers under the earth, there's for sure people. All the tribes talk about ant people. All the indigenous tribes, ant people, people that can from inner earth. So we know that that's been documented. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But it's been documented. And then, are we reptilian? I mean, are we reptilian? We all have the neural link in the back of our spines. I mean, we all have those vertebrae. We
Yeah,
all have neurological systems, and we all have, we're all warm-blooded. So, like, I mean, to some extent, we all are what we are, and these are just vessels. I don't think if you look into energy and consciousness, you just understand that this is just a vessel. I mean, why couldn't I be conscious as a dog? I mean, I don't know why you couldn't be. Why couldn't you be a tree? Why couldn't you be any living thing in this simulation?
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, one person that's notable in that is Phil Schneider. Phil Schneider was
Yeah.
working for the government, and he was like a geologist or something. And he was digging underground, and he had some encounter with a gray alien. And then, but it was more than that. Like if you listen to his speeches, he was going at hard against the government and like some kind of alien plan or something. But then they suicided him. There, they found
Well,
him.
he hung himself, didn't he?
They
He
found
killed
him dead in
himself,
a
Rob. Come on,
wheelchair.
nobody would ever kill somebody like
He
that.
had a
No, he
cord
hung
wrapped
himself
around
for
his
sure.
neck. He had his catheter wrapped around his neck.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, he definitely killed himself. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if there's any questions. Uh, no, no. Let me see here. No, nothing yet. Nothing yet. So I'm trying to think what else we could talk about. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
Who have you had on your show recently?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I've had Howdy. I've had a bunch of
What
people.
did what did Howdy say? Anything different, new? I mean, I know the book is a little bit different. It's more like his first book, he says. What was it? Did he say anything in particular? Any more stories that he's come up with?
Oh, it's
He's very
about
entertaining.
empty the cave, awaken the spark. So it's like so like when once you leave the cave, you're awakening that spark, I guess. Like that you like, you
But
know.
he believes in it. I mean, so it's so hard to keep track of people, man, because he believes in NPCs.
Yeah.
So he's writing a book for who? The non-NPCs? I
Yeah, I
mean, can
guess.
everyone have a spark howdy? Like, I mean, you got to be a little bit more theoretical behind that situation. And I'm not picking on him. I think anyone who looks for truth or look for answers is a special person. At least you bring something to the world, not just 9 to 5 job and go home and take a bath and go to sleep. But I don't know. I have more questions than answers when it comes to people like that. And I've talked to Howdy on my show with Chad as well, and it got like 10,000 views. And then you put out another video with Howdy, and it gets 105 views or 80 views, and it's like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good point because the one interview I did with him has like 8,000 views, and the newest video I have with him has only like 1,500 views. So it's weird, you know. Like this is from Sema. He says, "Question: Does Ken have any thoughts or predictions about 2025?"
I did. I did. I think there's going to be some more outings of people and some knowledge. I think I do resonate a lot with what Jason Brashears talks about with the informed field and the Akashic record tapping into that. I think there's going to be something coming out that's going to make people think about a lot of people that have been in the news or on YouTube. These. I guess what I'm saying is there are going to be people that are going to come down and just be outed. They're going to be outed for their information, and they're going to be pushed away.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Sheba says, "Rob, what about Graham Hancock? His theories on history. This was on Netflix. He was on Rogan too. Thoughts?"
I've talked to Michelle Gibson. I mean, numerous times. Me and Michelle are actually friends.
Yeah, I've had
Um,
her on my show too. She's pretty amazing, you
yeah,
know.
she's a great researcher and historian. She's got some good discernment. I mean, I definitely believe. I have a video that nobody's watched, of course, but I have a video about. And you saw it last time I think we were on there. I showed it to you last
We
time
did that show
we
together.
did.
It was me, you, and
Yeah.
Michelle, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I think the situation of what happened in 2020 has happened many times. They pushed us into these into hiding or fear tactics, and they're just gauging the amount of discernment people have. So I think that's happened before. History for sure. There's been resets. 100% there's been resets. And I think it is a simulation. So I think they can just turn it off and turn it on.
Jason says, has the church commented on drones, or are they too busy with portals? That's a good.
The
Did you hear about that?
church.
That the Vatican's trying to open up 5 portals or something, supposedly? Like,
Man, it's all look over here. It's all look at something else. There's
yeah,
always something else to look at when people start talking that nonsense. It's always don't look over here. Something else is going on.
yeah. It's hard trying to figure out what that, because my friend who's like, he's like totally not into any of this stuff. He said something one time, and it kind of made me think. He said to me, he's like, dude, he's like, don't you think if it was a real conspiracy, he's like, you wouldn't even know about it. He was like, he's not into conspiracies at all. And I was like, well, I don't think that's. I said, no. I said, I don't believe that. I said, because there's unclassified documents. I was like, things get leaked out. There's whistleblowers. I was like, there's a lot of different ways people get information. I said, it doesn't have to be that black and white. I think there's a lot of different ways people get information. I don't know. What do you think?
You had me a conspiracy because the original conspiracy theory was JFK and the magic bullet.
Yeah,
So I
right.
mean, if you believe that one bullet killed JFK and that you can't be a conspiracy theorist, like just stop. I mean, Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back, in his story. Whether that was true or not, who knows? But there's conspiracies all over the place. That word is one of the most ridiculous words in the history of the dictionary.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody should be a conspiracy theorist. I am a conspiracy theorist, 100%. There's conspiracies in this world.
Yeah, and
If you
and
don't believe there's a conspiracy, you get something wrong with you.
somebody made a meme one time. It said conspiracy theorists are 37-0, like, which means like we're undefeated, but it's compared to like because everything that they said has come true. Like pretty.
I don't think I mean, there's tons of conspiracies that are actually obviously true, and then there's tons that are not true. I don't believe that. I don't even know how to make sense to this, but there's no conspiracies on shit that can be easily disproven. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Stuff that makes no sense. There's no conspiracy there. I mean, it's again, it's sleight of vision, it's sleight of senses. Don't look over here. This is what we want you to do. Pay attention to this.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Let me see here.
Somebody asked if I was a seer. Can they expand on that? I don't even. I mean, I know what a
You're
seer is.
psychic. Are you like psychic?
I'm very intuitive. Do I see things that happen? Sometimes, yes. I get more of like the motive and the perceptive angle of things than I do what actually took place.
Yeah. Let me see. Jason says, "What's the difference between a conspiracy and a fact about a year?" I don't know what he means.
That's pretty funny. Sometimes it's not even a year, so but I think 6 months. I think in June or July there's going to be something that comes out, and that's not a prediction. I just think that it's going to take that time before people see what the hell is going on. I mean, I sniffed out 2020 and 2019, like within a month, and I had to answer all these questions from families and friends about why, and what was going on. And I see the same thing happening with the sex trafficking. I thought that was a complete psyop. I think it goes on for sure, but I think that it's a way for the government to siphon money. The same with the space program. I think for sure what's going on with Billy Carson and Christianity in the book is like, don't do your own research, don't do this, don't pay attention, just trust the government, trust the experts, and I think that'll show us in about 6 months, 7 months that that's really really the wrong answer.
Yeah, I agree. You know, yeah, that's a good point. So you think they're putting them up on a pedestal, like as the experts, like that? What they want us
Yeah,
to follow
for
them,
sure. Yeah,
not
no,
even.
well, they want you to follow them, and then they disprove them in certain ways that makes you question everything about them. So Billy Carson isn't wrong about everything. Billy Carson's just wrong about his factual information. And I don't mean like his theory. I mean, you know, quoting the resurrection or quoting that Jesus is wife. Those are texts. First of all, every text has been interpreted because nobody was there, and every text about the historical religious data has been disproven or could be disproven based on intellectual um, discernment. And I don't mean that none of the Bible is true. I just mean, if you've looked into the Old Testament, you've seen Leviticus and Deuteronomy, you can't say that the God of the old Bible is a benevolent person. You just can't.
Oh, I know. He's a maniac. He's
You
like
have
a
to be a
genocidal.
complete idiot to think that. So when you're talking about that kind of stuff, it's you just have to have discernment. You have to figure out what works for you and what they're trying to do with it. Don't let them take your sovereignty, is what I say. Don't let them take your emotions. Don't let them hijack your emotional intelligence.
This might be. I don't know. I don't know if I should talk about this on YouTube, but like, I mean, because it was on
Do it.
Rumble where I
Do
saw it.
it. What happened?
Well, about the whole Israel thing, like what's going on in Israel, and then like supposedly that they're trying to kill a red heifer to bring back their god or something like that. Like that's what Rumble directed me to yesterday. I was watching a video on something completely different, but then Rumble takes me to this video, and this guy's talking real bad about Israel, and like I don't have anything against anybody, honestly. Like like I don't care what Israel does. Like I mean like I'm indifferent to it. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know that maybe maybe we shouldn't talk about that because that's but that ties into the old God. That's why you brought that up. That ties into the God of the Old Testament. He was supposedly you know
Well, what doesn't make sense? There's a lot of things about religion that don't make sense to me, and I've documented some of them. I try to write them down, but I mean, the God of the let's get the story straight. The God of the Old Testament said it was okay to kill people on a land because that land was promised to his people, which were the people that were trying to get it, right?
Israelites.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the other word. The letter that wasn't invented until the 1500s or whatever the hell it was. So I'm not going to say that word, but right. So the God of the Old Testament let his people kill and rape and pillage and take sacrifice to people who were on the other land because he promised that then somebody else. Well, then I'm sorry. If those are your people, whose gods are the ones you're killing? Who's in charge of those people?
Yeah,
If you created everything, then those are your people too.
exactly. That's a
So how
good.
can you promise? These things don't make any damn sense, man.
That's
You
why
need
I
to
don't.
figure
I
this
think
out.
that God of the Bible could have been like an Anunnaki or something, or like some kind of.
I think this is definitely a Gnostic realm, and I'm with the Soul Trap people on that aspect of it. I think that the Eric Dubé Gnostic creation story seems to be the closest thing that I've seen to fact is that the demiurge gave divinity and it's been hijacked in this realm. That makes the most sense to me. I'm not sure that I believe that we can't get out of here or that we are being tricked. I think everything in life is perspective. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, just that I don't have that perspective of it. But the Gnostic creation story makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that goes back to the Gnostic text, though, right? Like, it's not just Eric Dubay. What's he say that's different about it? Like,
Well, the Gnostic texts were what were they found in 1959, 58, 52, something in the 50s in Nag Hammadi.
yeah,
So I mean, a lot. Talking about only like 70 years ago. So a lot has been um, forged, a lot has been written, a lot has been talked about since that time. We don't really know what the hell. I mean, that could have been a plant. That could be a misdirection. I mean, that you're talking about like, within 10 years of that, we landed on the moon. Like, I mean, there's just so
yeah.
much
I
that
don't think that happened.
there's 2,000 years that happened before that, supposedly.
Oh, yeah. Emily said, "Oh, I can't say that." Emily, the Khazar. Well, yeah, I think you can say it's the Khazars, the Khazarian mafia. She said he's probably talking about them. They took over that area. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole name of Jesus is, don't get me started on that one with the letter J.
Yeah. Well, that's a Hispanic. That's a Spanish name,
Right,
right?
Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeshua. Yeshua would have been Could have been Joseph, but we don't translate names. I
Yeah.
mean, if you meet somebody in the Ukraine or in Israel or in Africa, you don't tell them, your name is Rob, and they go, "Oh, your name is Fafaloga." I mean, come on, get out of here. Oh yeah, I know Fafaloga. Yeah, he's a nice guy. What is what? And then that name wasn't even invented yet. I'm calling you something that wasn't invented for the next 2,000 years. Come on, dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's hilarious, man. I always love having you on, Ken, because you always like you bring like a no bullshit, like you know. But it's funny you don't trust anything. Like, I mean, like, what?
I
Like,
do. I
you,
do. I mean, I trust I trust the sources. I trust myself as common sense, but I mean, I don't think anything too serious. And I
yeah,
think we should go about our lives like we don't know anything, and we're just curious.
yeah,
I mean, and I don't. You should treat people the way you want to be treated, and go about your life and try to be as happy as you could be. Don't let anyone take your sovereignty from you. Don't let anybody create your energy, misrepresent your past, all that stuff. It's very important, I believe.
yeah. I think I had Jim Gerard on the other day, and he got upset. I don't know if he got upset with me, but he got mad because I questioned Brashears as our Phoenix theory, like because I was like, well, where's the tech? Because okay, like I like Jason Brashears. I've had him on my show. I think
Let's
he's
talk about Jason. Go for it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
an amazing chronologist, right? He knows a lot about history, but like, where are these texts that supposedly talk about this Phoenix event coming to us? Like, are there? I mean, if there are, I'll be like, okay, there are. But I mean, are there? Are there actual
Um,
texts that
I,
talk about?
I can't. I don't speak to that. So I have a whole ideology and theory about what Jason talks about, and it unfortunately to me, I'm not interested in the chronology of history, the loop. I would love to sit down and ask Jason a bunch of questions, but I can't follow what he does on a daily basis. It's inadequate amount of, well, inadequate is the wrong word. It's an absorbent amount of information that I'm just not interested in, as far as that goes. I do wonder. I did wonder about if Jason was a plant, because he's so good at speaking facts,
I
and and
wondered the
and
same thing too, dude.
he's
You
he
know,
but I'll tell you,
and there's
and
been a
again,
lot of people that have been critical of him, by the way, too. There's a lot of people that make videos about him. You know,
and
I
that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, I got to tell you, I went and saw him in person in Tampa about 5 months ago. And that dude didn't use no paper. That didn't use a laptop. He didn't use shit. I
yeah,
mean, he
no,
talked about the 12 tribes of Israel for like 3 hours straight without taking a breath. And then he took a break, and he didn't go to his notebook. He didn't go to his paper. He didn't go
that's
to
where
his
he's amazing.
laptop.
That's why.
Bro, he is a legitimate historian as far as what he can
Yeah,
regurgitate.
he knows he's a real chronologist. I would say he's pretty
It's
amazing.
insane. It's insane, dude. It's
When I
insane
when
that he
I
could do that.
when I've had him on my show, that's what we've talked about because I wanted to talk about the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Like, you know, and he went into like the history, and you know, he's pretty amazing with it. I'll give him that. You know, I'm like um
Somebody says
Derek
Arcade is a
Galloway
sellout.
says.
No way he can. Dude, I can't read this. I'm sorry. Um, I
Uh,
mean, I'll entertain anything, dude. I'm not attached to anyone or anything. I'm attached to my experiences. That's what I'm attached to. The Mandela effect is 100% real. It's not false memory. I've seen stuff materialize and disappear in my reality and come back 9 months later. I've seen money manifest. I've parameter breached my way out of this thing to change my life. I mean, nobody can tell me shit about what my experience is. I've done it. I've experienced and I pushed it. But the archaics thing, I'll explore that. What was it? What is he saying? I'm sorry, I can't read. My eyes are terrible, dude. Archaics is a sellout. No way he can. I don't know what it's. I can't read
ran
that.
shit up the road. He had to be in protective custody. He said.
He can. No way he can. What?
He said no way he ran shit up the road. He to be in protective custody. I don't know what
What
he
do you
means
mean? What
by
does that
that.
mean? Ran shit up the road. I don't understand. Can you elaborate? I don't know what that means.
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, Derek, can you tell us what you mean by that? Derek really knows his shit too. I mean, Derek knows a lot. Derek's a good, you know, he really, you
What
know,
would he be a sellout on? I don't understand. Like that's my question, and it's a legitimate question. I'm not trying to throw shade on him. I don't know.
this is probably gonna have to go on Rumble, guys. But like, they're gonna take this video down. Like,
Why? What are we talking about? I didn't say nothing.
Not that, but the whole J talk in the chat.
That's
Because
just the
that's one
comments.
thing I learned from Jason. He said they'll target your chat too. He said, That's Jason. You know what Jason does? Jason goes over his chat and he'll delete any messages that he thinks are bad. So like he's a perfectionist in that way. Like I'll give Jason Bashir's credit to that. Like but I mean but I'm fine with putting it on Rumble because my videos get good views on Rumble. But it's just like it's crazy, man. Like
What does he mean by? I want to know what he means by that because I mean I'll explore anything. I was talking about Billy before Billy.
yeah.
I didn't. Nobody talked about it, and I mean Jason talked about him a little bit as being a grifter, but as far as the other stuff, I don't know what.
Arizona Sir Raven says we should be okay, so I'll leave it up, I guess.
He said
Yeah.
he was in prison for 25 years and said he was a boss. I don't know what that. I mean, does that matter? I mean, what's the? Hold on. Wait, it says I was. He was
25 prison for 25 years. And he was a boss.
I mean, does it what is the significance? I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to make someone has an experience with the divine will they understand. Bro, I mean, who's he saying sheep until someone I've had a Kundalini experience, changed my life.
Wait, what did she say? She said it's never outrageous to think something beautiful will be infiltrated to destroy it. Super Trojan horse.
Yeah.
That's really good point. That's a good point.
She's trying to mention what I was saying before about that, you're going to build up them and then they're going to tear them down so that you lose faith and you lose your perspective. And as soon as you find something wrong with somebody, you're going to I mean, people have done with Billy Carson the whole time. The last month, now, whenever you mention Billy Carson, you're like, oh, he's a scam artist. He's a joke. He's horrible. Like, what was he wrong about in that quote unquote debate? He was wrong about facts of the Bible. I mean, I don't understand how that has anything to do with what he talks about.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my eyes were better. I really can't read this.
I'm looking at it on my phone. Yeah, because if I pull it up on my computer, the chat will skip.
Yeah, that's fine.
Video
Don't get it in trouble. There's a tsunami in Peru. I can see that. Who's saying they have a lot of evidence and people even don't believe it? Then what is that in reference to?
She says she has a lot of abduction experience. She
Yeah.
has
Okay.
marks on her hands and stuff like that. She's being visited by some kind of entities. Like it's something. I don't know if it's aliens. It's some kind of entities of some sort. Which is, I'll tell you what, man. I had some kind of haunting in here. It was really strange. Like I was being bothered every night at 3 a.m. It felt like something was like I couldn't see it, but I could feel the energy, and it would like portal up from underneath my bed, and it would like loosh feed off my liver.
Do you have a Fitbit?
What's that?
Do you have a Fitbit?
Well, I have my phone that I keep.
Does it track your sleep?
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. One time, why I was telling you that is because one time last year was around New Year's of 2023. I fell asleep with my phone in my pocket, and I woke up, and this only happened one time, and I fell asleep with my phone in my pocket many times, and it said that I went like 150 million steps, and it said I went 60,000 miles, and it said I was going 6,000 miles per hour. So it's like, where did I go?
Yeah, well, I went somewhere too. I don't know where my phone is. Should have probably put it outside. So like about a month and a half ago, I was getting no sleep. I mean, I couldn't sleep for crap. I would be knocked out, and like an hour later I wake up, and it would be like, I don't know, went to bed at like 10. For like 4 nights in a row, I went to bed, and I have a Fitbit, and it tells me when I go to sleep, when I'm awake, if I'm in REM, if I'm in light sleep. And for 4 days in a row, I was not anywhere. I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't awake for like 4 days in a row for like 3 hours at a time.
Wow.
I couldn't. It was like I was shaken, like what you're saying, almost like somebody like shook me or woke me up, and I was like, "What in the hell is going on?" I couldn't go back to sleep. It was crazy.
I sleep a lot during the day, and I just wanted to tell everybody now, since everybody's watching now, if in case I don't get the links out, because I got to take a nap at some point today. Like I have a show tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern with Karina the witch. She's like a witch, you know, and she's going to be doing readings for you guys and stuff like that. And then at 9:30, I have my friend Jill she's from Pittsburgh. She's a DJ. She's going to come on and do readings for you guys too. So I have two shows tonight, like in case I don't put out the links because I'm.
What time is the what time is the DJ and MC Rob show?
9:30 Eastern.
9:30. If I'm up, I'm gonna try to see if she has any questions. I have a Mandela effect for you guys that I've never heard anyone talk about. You like Mandela effects, right, Rob?
Yeah, I love Mandela.
People in there. Does anybody remember? So this is a movie out right now called Wicked, right? Everybody knows that movie.
I saw it. I saw it at the movies
right.
with my family.
Was there not a movie that was called Glenda about the Good Witch that had the Good Witch and the Bad Witch in it? Was there not?
It's a spin-off of the Broadway music one. It's a spin-off of that movie.
No, a movie. But where's the movie? I can't find the movie.
I don't know. That's a good point. I don't think it exists. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I think it's called Glenda, but I'm not even sure what the hell the name of the movie was. But it was about Glenda the Good Witch, and she was like not partnering up or whatever. She had some kind of relationship with the Bad Witch. Yeah.
My wife said the same thing. We couldn't find the movie, so if somebody could find it, let me know.
Derek just posted a link. He says, "Check out." I says after the stream, check this out. The Pope shape-shifting after opening the portal, or while opening the portal.
Anybody know what movie that was from? Was it called Glenda?
She says, Emily says, I've heard of that Glenda movie. It's probably a Mandela effect. It's probably got erased from the timeline, you know. But there's probably people who remember it. People who've been following the story of the Wizard of Oz for a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I could have sworn this was. I'm like, dude, they're making another freaking movie about the Wicked Witch of the West and Glenda again. Another one, the same damn thing. But it was like switched.
You know, like I saw Wicked with my or was that what it's called? Yeah,
Wicked.
I saw it with my family because like you know like it was after Thanksgiving and some of my family wanted to go but then I realized there's a message behind that movie. Like what it is once the girl's invited to the castle to see the wizard, like she finds out that he's controlling a whole city with like puppet stuff. Like he doesn't have any real magic. She finds out she has the magic, and he's like all trickery. So it's almost like a metaphor.
It's almost like the world we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
The government has no power. They trick you thinking they do. Yeah, that stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Any more? What are the questions we got?
Derek and Dan, I wish you guys wouldn't fight. I'm not saying anything. You guys can do whatever you want, but like, if you can, just try not to argue. You know, like I know everybody might be having a bad day, like, you know, but I'm not getting involved. You know, like I just wish you guys wouldn't argue, but I can't control you, but you do. So you know,
What was the premise of the argument?
I don't know what they're arguing about. I just see that they're kind of going back and forth in the chat and like, you know.
Namaste.
They're both my really good friends, so you know, like they're like really good. They're big supporters of my channel. Derek's a moderator, and Dan comes on my show all the time. Dan's amazing. Dan's incredibly intelligent. He's an amazing person. I like both of them a lot. They're both awesome people. You know, they're my really good friends. You know, so
it's like Billy Carson and Neil deGrasse Tyson. You're good buddies.
Yeah. Derek's insane. I'm gonna have to take this video off and put it on raw.
Oh man, keep it on.
This is crazy, man. I have a strike against me already. You know, if I didn't have a strike against me, it would be okay. But like, you know, like, you guys are crazy, man. Oh my god. You got, it's Arizona Raven has it right. It says Mod can't.
Somebody has a question.
We love both Derek and Dan. Yeah, we do. Okay, we'll get back to the question. So this is from Simos. He says, Ken, do you think we get a definite answer about the drones in 2025?
No, we don't get any of those answers. We'll learn more about like the Puff Daddy kind of stuff. We need more Puff Daddy, LeBron James
You know,
answers.
what was funny, and my audience heard me say this a lot of times, but you know what? And well, the first thing I thought when I saw that drone come over my apartment, I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like, "This is 1984, George Orwell. Total invasion of like privacy, total, technocracy takeover. You know what I mean? That was the feeling that I got that resonated with me. I somehow I feel like the drones can't be good. Because that was what I mean. I don't know. I can't say I was right because
So
sometimes
you don't think the drones are, just to be clear, you think the drones are us chasing orbs,
I
or you think the drones are what?
I don't think they would let them up in our airspace if they weren't ours.
Drones? How could they keep drones out of our airspace?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about aviation. I
Man,
can't.
there's so many damn satellites, dude. Oh, I forget. No, we're not going. We cannot leave here without talking about this. The 24-hour sun, the 24-hour sun experiment in Antarctica. I know you guys
Yeah,
haven't seen
I
that.
covered that on the one-on-one
Okay,
podcast too.
okay, okay.
The flat Earth.
Why is no one talking about if they're on the bottom of the ball? Okay, if you're on the bottom of the ball, right? And the ball, we're spinning. I'm gonna be stupidly obvious right now. We're the Earth, we're spinning, and we're the ball, right? And the sun is over here, right? The sun's here, right? Got it? So
Yeah.
they're in the, first of all, it's the South Pole in the fucking summer. Why is it not hot? Okay, forget that for a second. Because they're closest to the sun, because it's 24-hour sun, it should be hot. But anyway, all right. So they're spinning on this ball, right? We're on a ball, obviously, just obvious. And then the sun is sitting here. The sun never reaches their eye. Now, you're spinning, you're rotating, the sun's not rotating. Tell me how the sun isn't doing a small circle. Tell me how the sun went like this around them. And then tell me how they also fucked up and slipped. They said, oh, the sun's going around us. Yeah, the sun's going around us. Now you said it. We're not going around the sun. The sun's going around us. We're not spinning. We're not spinning. If we were spinning, the sun would have done a circle in the sky, because that's what we'd be rotating on a merry-go-round. It wouldn't have gone around us. That's total and complete horseshit.
So you think we're in a flat Earth like plane or
If
something?
if 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 that was a legitimate experiment, the sun would have made a circle. There's no way the sun would have went around us like that if we were the ones spinning and they were on the South Pole. And
Or
I just don't understand why it was hot, why it was not hot down there.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
this is just so stupidly obvious. Like, who thinks they're going to do an experiment in the South Pole, and the sun is going to be, and it's going to be cold down there? In South America, it's summer.
That's
Hello?
hilarious.
I mean, how fucking stupid is that?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at science, and I'm pretty good. This is our winter. It's their summer.
Well, the Globers, there was more when me and Juan checked it out. There was more Globers signed up than there was flat Earthers. There was like 12 Globers, and there was only 3 flat Earthers signed up. Probably because the flat Earthers are
I
broke.
don't. I don't. I don't believe in being in a box. That's my number one premise. Don't put me in a box. Nobody ever put me. Don't put baby in a box or in a corner. I'm not in a religion. I'm not in a box. I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a glober. I just call it as I see them. I don't want somebody to say, well, you were wrong. You were in that camp. I'm not in any camp. I'm in an obvious camp.
If I was in any kind of camp, I'd be more in like a Matrix simulation camp. That's what I feel like. This we're in like a holographic reality. It's like that. What that could be possibly be a prison. It could not possibly be a prison.
Yeah, I don't know, but we sure as fucking don't know ball. If that was a real experiment, it's not even possible. It's
Yeah,
not possible. I do put a light on your wall, and then you do like a little merry-go-round turn, and you tell me how that perspective would not be doing a circle.
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, they just proved it. They just proved that if that experiment is legit, then we're on a flat plane. Flat airplane. I
Yeah,
still believe in simulation, but it's still, if you're at the bottom of a ball, you'd be doing a circle. So they can explain those two questions to me. That'd be great.
yeah. Sybil says Antarctica has 100% sun right now, and it goes around and around a circle in the sky. This is their summer. It's like a globe, like the moon, Mars, and Saturn. She
There
said.
you go. She said it right too. Yeah, the sun goes around in a circle. The sun goes around in a circle. The sun goes. Think about that. The sun goes around the circle. But we're supposed to be spinning. The sun's not spinning. The sun's not going around us.
Yeah.
But it is. That's my point. The sun is going around us.
Yeah. I don't even have a gay.
Next time somebody tells you that they want to be a glober, have them Google July 8th. July 8th sun. 99% of the world gets sunlight on July the 8th. I'm sorry, how is that possible again? Anyone? Anyone in the comment section can tell me how that's possible on a globe. Anyone? Anyone? No one.
She says, Emily Howard says, I don't think so. She says, it's like pointing down there and spinning. I don't know. I don't have a ball in the game.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious perspective that the sun's not going to go around you if you're on the bottom of the point.
Yeah.
It's not. It's going to do this.
That's what you're saying, you know.
It's going to do this. It's going to do that. And the sun is no bigger down there than it would be over by us, which doesn't make sense either. But okay. We are at the point closest to the sun down there right now. If you were down there, not me, but
yeah.
Anyway, y'all can rewatch this. Y'all do your own experiment. It's pretty freaking obvious as far as what either that experiment was a lie.
I'm just gonna keep this up, guys. I'm gonna edit some stuff out. If they let me keep it up long enough to, because YouTube has to process the video. If they let me keep it up long enough to where I can edit some stuff out, I'll just do that, and then I'll use the YouTube editor because I thought this was a really good show, and I want to try to keep it up. You know, I just wonder if we're allowed to talk about Billy Carson and all those people on here. Like, I don't know.
You can talk about Billy. You can talk about Billy.
Yeah.
You can talk about almost anything now. I mean, it's the censorship is relatively speaking is gone. I don't know what you were getting a strike for.
It was for medical misinformation. I don't even want to talk about it.
How long ago was it?
Oh, it was just like a month ago. You know. And
didn't you get an email saying that medical misinformation can only be done if you're talking about it in not hypotheticals, in subjective terms, meaning that if you talk about it as in your personal experience, or you speak in terms of, well, my cousin took it and my cousin had a heart attack, that's legal. That's fine. You can say instances. You can't say in generals.
Yeah.
And you can tell a story.
Well, next time they strike my channel, I'm coming to you, dude. Because I swear to God, because you might be able to help me file the appeal.
Look through the emails. It's in because I read it because I got a strike for that. Chad said something one time and I was like, I got a strike for that. Like that wasn't even legit. And this was like 2 years ago. And so now they've changed it. So now every time you say something, you just have to say what he's referring to was an instance of his cousin, sister, brother, and you can't be flagged for that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, did you have anything else? Yeah, Simo made a good point. He says, as soon as I hit 20,000 subscribers, my channel was a target.
Well, I don't have any subscribers. I have 1,000 subs, and you can't even find my channel. So if anybody's watching this, just try to type in "We Are One Podcast." Even if you subscribe and unsubscribe, I don't even care. Just try to find it. You won't. You only find like 5 videos that I'm talking about stuff because I don't even know why. I wish I knew, but I don't even. It's fine.
You should start a Rumble channel, dude. You should start a Rumble channel too. You get more traffic.
I don't want to hear myself talk. I sure as hell don't want to hear anybody else to hear me talk.
Listen to this. Like my videos now on YouTube are so shadow banned that they're not getting that many views. Like some of my videos are only getting like 500 views. Like my video with Howdy only has 1,500 views. But then if I go over to Rumble, my videos have 1,000 views, 1,500, 2,000 views. You know what I mean? It's like I'm getting more views on Rumble than I get here. So it's like, what is going on? You know, I mean, like I have 2,000 subscribers on Rumble, whereas over here I have 20,000. So somebody's not getting notifications about the videos, or something's going on where, you know, like out of 20,000 people, I should be getting at least 2,000-3,000 views per video. You know what I mean? At least
you would think, yeah, you would think, and it's not has nothing to do with the hit rate. They can manipulate the algorithm any way they want to, and that's the unfortunate part about it.
they're fucking me over big time, man. Because some of my videos have been getting like 500 views lately. I don't understand it. I'm like, my videos used to get like 3,000 views. You know, it's like it's fucked up, man. Like it really is. Like it's like
I think
I don't
Chad's got 150,000 subs and he's getting like 300-400 views sometimes.
really.
Thanks, Phoenix. Phoenix subscribed. Who else? Who else? Let's see if we can
Oh,
get
that's
him up
my
to
friend. That
1,200
Phoenix
subs
is
today.
Susan Long. She's awesome. Susan's.
Phoenix, were you able to find it, Phoenix? There's only about 5 videos. You have to go
Yeah.
into a video.
Can someone do me a favor? Can someone post Chad's or post Ken's link in the chat, please, so people can find his channel, and then I'll post it in the description afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see if people can find it, honestly, because I know I can't. I have to go into a video and then go onto the view channel and then hit sub or unsub or whatever it is.
I know I'm subscribed to you, but I mean I've been
Yeah, it's all
subscribed.
good, man. I don't I if I was relying on YouTube or somebody else in my life for my income or for whatever, I'd be a victim. I mean, unfortunately, I think just got to keep doing what we're doing, try to figure out what the loopholes are and do it.
Yeah.
That's right. They can't silence all of us. Phoenix, I'm sorry, I can't see that picture is terrible. I can't see shit. Are you a boy or a girl?
She's a girl. It's Susan. Her name's Susan Long. She's an energy healer.
Nice. She coming on your show too?
Yeah,
Is
she
it on?
comes on. Yeah, she's a
Okay.
guest. She's
I'll
coming
check it
on
out.
next month. Actually, we're trying to finalize a date. She's coming on with this guy Bill. He has he mixed this thing where he mixed orgone together with a violet ray, and it produces some kind of like amazing like energy healing. We're gonna do it again because I took it down because when I got my strike, I got scared. I took 100 videos down when I got struck because I was like, I don't want to have two strikes like Tony Sayers did and take down my whole channel.
Tony.
Like,
Tony's a funny man. I would love to talk to Tony.
Tony's awesome, man. I like him.
I would love to have a debate with Tony.
You don't like Tony?
No, I can listen to Tony. Like I'm fine with him, like as a person and stuff. I just is the first time I ever found Tony, I just was like, Tony, you're full of shit, dude. Because, and I'll say the specific instance so that I don't get it misinterpreted. I like Tony just fine. Um, Tony was talking about like you know, healing yourself and being wusa and being, and then somebody's like knocking on his wall and he's like, that motherfucker won't shut up. They're trying to hurt me. I'm like, Tony, I thought you were trying to teach people how to be wusa, and you're like yelling at the guy next door for being too loud. I was like, Tony, take your own advice, man. It's okay to be upset. It's no problem. Anyway, whenever I see Tony's or hear Tony, I'm like, I remember that video that I saw him doing that, and I was like, dude, Tony. But now he's all right. He's fine. I can listen to him. He's cool. I like him.
Yeah. I was supposed to have Ola back on, but then she rescheduled, so I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll get a hold of her and try to get her back on.
I think
But she wants to
Ola
have
won't talk to
something
me no
really
more.
good to talk about.
Ola, Ola is Ola is Ola.
I found another really good astrologer though. She was just on the other day. Her name's Amelie Gillerat. She was on Tony Sayers' channel, and then he recommended her to me. He said, "Dude, you should have her on." Dude, she's 21 years old. She's from Australia, but she knows astrology like a motherfucker. She's like just as good as Ola. You know what I mean? She looks at it the same way, like it's a matrix tool. You know,
Yep.
and she can, dude. She's really good at astrology. Like. I want to have her back on. She was like, she really impressed me. Like, if you guys didn't see that show, look up the, yeah. But
I think Ola is an amazing whatever field of study she did. She did my chart. It was amazing. She's an amazing in that aspect. I don't understand the whole feminine aspect of everything. I don't understand that. So I
yeah,
move past that. But she is really cool to listen to. She's got plenty of knowledge for sure.
Molly Gola, yeah, she's cool. Well, I guess maybe we could finish up from here.
Rob, thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, do you want to
You guys are awesome. That's
you
why
want to
people in the
promote
chat.
something or
Promote anything?
yeah,
Sure. Drink Sunny Delight. I think it's really good. Not sponsored by Sunny Delight. No, I don't have anything, dude. I mean, I want people to keep the conversation going. Don't
yeah.
let anybody make you upset for no reason. Namaste or whatever.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys later tonight.